Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for being here this morning.
Come on, come on. Hey, hey, what you say, Duchess? What you say, Duchess? Hey, what? That's right. Okay.
Let's go, let's go. Ow, let's start this show. King Roman news gonna come right through. Gonna give you that news just like you know it can do. Hot topics in your face, baby. King Roman knows his place, baby. King Roman
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
6:30 a.m. Eastern time, baby. He's gonna come right on time with the news just for you. Celebrity news, politics, and local news just for you. King Roman news. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Let's go, let's go. Hey, let's start this show. King Roman News, coming just for you. King Roman News, coming just for you. 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. King Roman News, King Roman News. Let's go, let's go. Let's start this show. Let's go, let's go.
What? Let's go, let's go. Oh, let's start this show. Good morning, crew. Good morning, crew. Good morning, crew. As we wait for more of the crew to come in the building, thank y'all for being here with me. And I apologize for yesterday. I did make a members post, so I'll let you guys know that I wasn't coming live yesterday. Of course, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't come live yesterday because I had a whole fucking attitude. In the morning, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And I said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not about to come down with that whole attitude. So shout out to the crew. Thank y'all for being here with me. We got a whole local news show. Okay, all things local news today. Shout out to the members, shout out to the moderators. Thank y'all for being here for me. And thank you for always showing up for me. I really do appreciate it. You know it takes a lot to be sitting over here because we talk about any and everything. No holds bar. And same thing today's show. Okay. So shout out to the dopest subscribers. I really do appreciate y'all being here. I really hope y'all enjoy today's show. It's a jam-packed show. We got about 13 topics to get through. And of course, we're celebrating Black History Month. Now, if you have not hit that like button, I just got one question for you. When am I going to get my love, on the front end or the back end? You know what I'm saying? If you want to give me some love right now, I really do appreciate it. Hit the like button. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing to this channel and turning on your notification bell so you know when I drop another video. And if you want to show some love to the King Roman News channel, remember everything goes back to our channel. Please feel free to do so at $Roman L. Jackson. Everything goes back to supporting the channel. And I have so many thank yous to you all. Thank you so much for all the support that you all have been giving this channel over this past month. Shout out to the crew. Thank y'all so much. Now let's get into it. Good morning, crew. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, yesterday I was just out of it. I couldn't do a morning show. If you all were here, thank you for joining me for our Wake and Breathe this past Sunday. We had an amazing conversation about my past weekend. And, if you left off on that live, you know that I was having dinner that evening to handle some unresolved issues. Needless to say, baby, okay, I woke up with a fucking attitude on Monday morning. So shout out to y'all for showing up for me today. Now, remember, I didn't have my other phone. I got my other phone back. Can I ask y'all a question? Why is this phone water damaged and cracked and can't cut on? He gave me the phone at the dinner table, and I instantly was like, oh, it must be dead. So I got home to plug it in to charge it. Baby, a blur came up on the screen. So I instantly went to the store like, hey, what's going on with my phone? They says appears to be water damage. I went the fuck off because we'll talk. We'll have to talk Sunday. This ain't what the show's about. We're going to talk Sunday about where we at because I had to go off for a minute and I was mad. I felt like somebody invaded my privacy. I felt like, but funny thing is when I lost my phone, I immediately put it on lock mode where you can't go in, you can't touch nothing. You literally got to call that number showing up. Well, when I woke up on Sunday morning, like around 6-ish, before I went live, I saw an email that says my name, you need to reset your password. I instantly thought maybe that's coming from me locking my phone and maybe iPhone does something. So I didn't pay it no mind. But when all this shit went down, I'm starting to add two and two. I'm like, wait a minute. So yeah, we here. And yeah. But anyway, shout out to you all. And we got some announcements and positive news to get to. So let's get through our business at the top of the hour first. Thank y'all for being here. And please make sure you hit that like button on your way in. Now, I wanted to open the show with a quote of the day. Now, this quote always goes for me because I see him pop up like, oh, that's for me. And then I'm like, oh, maybe somebody in the crew could feel this. So check this quote out. So I want to open the show up with this. You need to look after yourself too. If you need to rest, rest. If you need time alone, recharge yourself. Now, as a Libra, I wholeheartedly believe in that last part. If you need time alone, recharge yourself. Do you know how much I recharge myself so I can't always be on my best behavior? So I want to say that to everyone. If you need to look after yourself too. If you need rest, rest. If you need time alone, recharge. The world ain't gonna stop because you missed the day. It's going to keep going on. So you might as well figure out a time to recharge, get your energy, do what you need to do for yourself. Look at healthy eating habits. That's all I've been doing in my spare time is figuring out new ways to cook my favorite dishes healthier because, I do high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, all of that runs in my family. And it's alarming to me that, my doctors told me that I had high blood pressure and that I was showing early signs of being diabetic. I'm like, what? So I've totally changed my eating habit. And that's just something I need to do for me. I barely eat fried foods. I barely eat fried foods now. And, I'm at Chick-fil-A getting the grilled nuggets and the grilled sandwich. And it's so good. If you've never had the grilled sandwich, I never tried it like that. It's so good. So that's what I want to share with you all. Just my journey on making sure I'm always good and make sure you're good. Now, the question of the day, hold your answers to the end of the show because the show kind of helps you come to the answer of this question, okay? Now, the question is, what is your first line of defense in a non-physical confrontation? Silence for understanding? Are you going to respond immediately? Will you retreat and wait? Will you do the ignore and avoidance, sort of dismiss it? Or is there an other way you handle non-physical confrontation? And I would love to get your opinion. Not now. I want you to see the show. And then at the end, I want you all to tell me your first line of defense. Somebody confronts you about something. Did you move my cart? Did you take my parking spot? What are you going to do? What do you do in that moment? I'd love to know your answer. All right, now let's get into positive news of the show and shout out to the plainest Jane. I saw you post this and it was just so, I was like, oh, so sweet. And so I wanted to expound on this a little bit more. So she made a post just retweeting this, and it was spending the day with dad, Black Fathers Matter. And you have a room full of Black men with their Black daughters, and they're all literally sitting there together. Now, if you thought that was something, and we need to see more images of stuff like this, I also wanted to show this clip of Black fathers with their Black daughters. I thought this was a very beautiful clip. Now, this is a dance. You got, the fathers with their daughters. They're all dressed up. Then you got one father. He got 3 girls. So he got all 3 girls. I'm like, that's right. It don't matter. But it brought some mushiness to my heart. So, crew, check this out in positive news for today's show. shout out to Black fathers, Black men everywhere. Your contribution to society, not only your family, is well needed. Black men like me, all of us, gay, straight, whatever you are, father, not father, you're needed. And I wanted to highlight that because, sometimes we get bogged down in these news stories and hot topics and so heavily bogged down on the brutality that Black men face, we sort of don't celebrate some good stuff that we see. And so I wanted to celebrate that. I wanted to share that. Shout out to Black dads. And it does never, because of my upbringing, it never puts a transgression in my heart to see a child celebrating lovely with their father. It actually makes me really, really mushy. So shout out to them for doing that. I love to see it. I really do. I truly do. All right, cool. Now we can get straight into the show. But I wanted to shout somebody else out. You know who you are. You got me this book, podcasting. Let me tell you, if you are a YouTuber and you're doing like a hot topic show, a news topic show, you got to go get this book. I mean, it is so on point with how to the flow of your show, how to do a show, how to be a commentator when you don't have people watching you, which makes you better for when people are watching you. And I try to read some of this book like at least once a day to grab something. So you all, I recommend going checking it out. You can find it on Amazon. It's $26.99. It's worth it. And then that's all I wanted to talk about announcements. Now let me get to y'all. Good morning, crew. I am so sorry. Mr. Gerald, thank you for being a new member or renewing it, I think. Good morning. Is that light skin trade in the thumbnail, baby? We're going to get to light skin trade in the thumbnail. Okay. Light skin trade is playing games. Light skin trade playing games. Good morning, Brick Girl. Hey, Cheryl Burnett. Alfreda. Good morning, El Presson. Good morning, caught alive early. Journey, good morning. Good morning, Oxy 805. Good morning. Look at me and you yesterday in the chat, banging. We thugging in the chat yesterday. I said, look, okay, Coco. Good morning, hey, boo. Slim Body Benz, what's up? Good morning, Latasha. Good morning, good morning. Here's your love. Hit the like, hit that like, hit that like. Good morning, Nadine. Good morning. Hey, y'all coming through. What? Baby, when I tell you I got my phone, and in the moment I was, I ain't say nothing, but when I got in my car and I charged and I saw no battery signs show up or nothing, I said, oh, okay, I know what's going on here. I snapped so hard and I said, and if I got it, I'll talk about it later. What happened? I want to know what happened too. Kurt Vixen, good morning. Let me know if you need me to come down and help you jump some niggas. Okay. Wow, that quote is so true, so powerful. I recharge all the time. Okay, good morning, just getting off work. I hope you had a good day at work, Torres. Thank you for coming through. Oh, ain't it so sweet? Too cute. Good morning, Shay. Hey, Shay, good morning. Thank you for dropping down. All right, you all. So we got a jam-packed show. I hope you check the description box out so you know what we're talking about. We're going to do politics. We're going to do injustice. We're going to do fast food crime. And then we're going to get into some of the most dumbest, craziest fucking crimes I've heard just since the last show. That's why I said, oh, this has just got to be local news. I don't have time for anything else. All right. Now, I want to kick the beginning of this show off with politics. And, we got to do a deep dive in this stuff because we have to understand the political landscape. So the first thing I want to talk to you all about is the murder rate. Now, you're probably like, Roman, what are you talking about, the murder rate? Well, we always hear about how the murder rate is high here. The murder rate is high here. Well, there was a study that was recently completed and reported out at the early beginning of February of this year about a survey of the murder rates over a 10-year period. Okay. Now, it's interesting because 20-year period, 2000 to 2021. Now, what's interesting is not a lot of people want to talk about it. You want to know why? It's alarming. It's not what we thought it was. You know how people say that in the Democrat states where there's a high proportion of blacks in those urban communities, that's where you find the highest rate of murder, violence. Well, not quite, news crew. And this is why I wanted to tell you this. So if somebody come in your face or tell you like, that's why the murder rate's so high in your state, check them. Okay, you got some more information. So what happened was Republicans have made crime a major selling point over the past several elections. Now, you know how everybody say, oh, it's so much crime in New York City, we need to get a new mayor. Or Chicago, so much crime in Chicago, we need to get someone. Or Florida, it's so much crime because it's gun violence and it's drug violence and black on black crime. But what we're finding out is that over the period of in 2020 to 2022, Democratic candidates they accused them of wanting to defund the police, basically trying to position Democrats as the ones who are weak on crime. They want to get rid of the police. They're never been there for crime. Well, when this report came out, it showed an alarming issue. It showed that while murder is by no means the only crime in America, it is the most serious. And as far as murder is concerned, it is a bigger problem in red states than blue states, and only becoming more so, meaning that it's growing, it's increasing. Republicans do a much better job blaming others for crime than actually stopping it. And that's where I wanted to tell you all about. Don't look at these reports and think that, okay, we talk about crime, local news stories specific to neighborhoods. But in a nutshell, you can't aggregate that and say it's all one area, because looking at this report, it's all over the place. So in March of 2022, we released a report that found murder rates in 2020 were 40% higher in Trump voting states than Biden voting states. In this report, we studied homicide data going back to 2000 to see if this one-year red state murder epidemic was an anomaly. And what they found was it's on trend, you all. As you can see, the red is Trump voting states, higher. Biden states, the blue line, a little bit lower. And even here in this map, what you see is over the years from 2000 to 2020, the top state with the highest murder rate, Louisiana. No, that's Los Angeles. No, I think that's Louisiana. Mississippi, Alabama. Those are the top three for the last 2 decades. Then you start seeing Maryland. Then you start seeing New Mexico. Then you start seeing Illinois and Georgia. But you can't let nobody tell you that. And so the conclusion that they came to is that the one that is chosen often fits a narrative that is familiar as it is shallow, meaning that it's a murder in New York City or Los Angeles, 2 cities that actually have murder rates far lower than many states. So here's what you need to know from this article. The reason why it's so high in these red states is because the number one thing, guns. They allow gun ownership. The rates of gun ownership is far higher in red states than blue states. Poverty. We all know that most of the Trump voting areas are impoverished. Those are the local rural areas where they got mobile homes and mailbox stands standing outside their house. No shade to those who do, because I know there are homes in gray areas that have the mailbox with the thing that stands on the street. But you see a lot of those in those communities because they're so far off of a road. So you have poverty. You have another thing where it's educational attainment. And as much as we want to say that, low income neighborhoods, they have a low educational attainment rate, that's the same thing for a lot of Trump voters too. Don't miss the hype. And then lastly, social service and police resources. Despite accusations that Democrats defund the police, we found that cities with Democratic mayors fund police at far higher levels than cities ran by Republican mayors. And I just wanted to douse that piece of information on you all, just so you know that when you see murder rates come out here and they're starting to say, oh, it's so high in New York. Okay, well, what it look like in Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama, in your red states where you allow gun ownership to permit. And some of the places have removed the restriction. A couple of weeks back, we were talking about that. It just lifted the veil up. So don't be alarmed by this. Look at this map. You can actually see where it's increasing. Look at that. Florida, Texas. Let them hang themselves. And I say, let them hang themselves, baby. Let them turn their own states into these vigilant states trying to beat Democratic states out. So that was one thing I wanted to talk about. And I wanted to cover this Don't Say Gay bill. Yes, baby, it's back. So in Kansas, we're suffering another bill being positioned as a Don't Say Gay bill. Now, they're copying off of Florida. And, in Florida, they had the whole gay bill where it prohibits instruction on gender identity and sexual orientation in kindergarten. Well, Missouri lawmakers are weighing a bill that will ban teachers from discussing gender identity or sexual orientation at any grade level, no matter the class subject. And so, what some people are saying is, fuck that. That's not what they're looking at. They're looking at just, they don't want gay talk, period. They don't want you talking about it. They don't want questions. If you get assaulted by somebody else, you can't bring that up. All of this. And so, under the bill, teachers would not be able to discuss any LGBTQ history or any book that involves the LGBTQ people or topics. It would also prohibit LGBTQ parents from participating in their children's school. Now, principals or school personnel will be banned from discussing bullying or harassment that, as a student, may endure if at the root of that is because they're gay or transgender. So if you're gay or transgender and you're a student in a school and you've been bullied or harassed because of your your sexuality, you can't say that. You can't say, oh, it's because I'm gay. You have to find some other reason to describe that or say that. Does this sound like America in 2023? Like, who is pushing these laws through? And let's just say it's a female that saw something on TV and had a question to her teacher about what she saw. The teacher can't answer the question. No, and you know what they want you to do? If a child comes to your class with a question, this is what they want you to do. They want you, instead of allowing teachers to counsel students, they want mental health professionals. So when a student comes in and has a question, they rather the teacher refer them to a mental health professional, because asking questions about gender, sexuality is not fit for a classroom. Although in biology you talk about it, humanity studies you talk about all of that shit. But this particular subject, you can't. You got to have a mental health. So my thing was, what if I have a question about a king and a emperor from world history and his wives, and he had many wives? What if I have a question about that dynamic? Do I need to see a mental health professional, or that fits the narrative? You're gonna have to get real fucking specific on this. Education is not no one cookie shape. It's not no, we're gonna do it like this for everyone. You have to customize it. You have to allow community input, and you cannot discriminate against folks. That's generally the rule of thumb. But now we find a whole group disenfranchised. And I'm sorry to my LGBTQ family, because according to the Trevor Project, 71% of LGBTQ youth and 86% of specifically transgender and non-binary youth say they're negatively affected by these laws that are restricting their rights, which, leads to suicide, depression, insecurities, a lifestyle that they shouldn't be living, all of those things. So we're back here with the Don't Say Gay bill. And it don't stop here, y'all. It's 2 other states lining up to do the same thing. Baby, when they started this shit in Florida, they knew what they were doing. And it's creeping its head all the way across. And you want to know something else that's creeping its way ahead all the way across the border? AP studies. Now, y'all, we got 4 other states who are now beginning to review whether or not the African American course, considered an AP course, can be taught this upcoming school year. Not now, in the next year. And I said, all because Ron DeSantis decided to open his fucking mouth. This man is, I'm telling you, if he is gearing up to run for president, which he is, we're going to have a problem on our hands. So we're back here. Okay, so 4 other states are now considering a ban of this course. What they're saying is the course. Now, let's talk about the course. Okay, let's talk about what this course is. And y'all tell me whether this course needs to be banned. So the course, which covers a wide range of Black history and cultural topics, is being piloted in about 60 classrooms nationwide this year. The pilot will continue this fall, and the class will be widely available in fall 2024 unless states block their schools from offering it. In many states, no class can count toward graduation unless it's granted state-issued course code. That don't sound like a problem to me. It sounds like any standard AP course. You look in the syllabus, it sounds like that. It's very vague. We're covering a wide range of topics under this subject. Very vague, but that's a problem. What are those wide-ranging topics? So here's a map that's letting you know that all the states that are considered reviewing it. Currently, you have North Dakota, Arkansas, Mississippi, Florida, and Virginia all consider reviewing this course. States who are on the verge: Montana, Texas, Georgia, South Carolina. And I'm like, really? Over the African American course, y'all ain't got shit else to do. Listen, if y'all so concerned about this course, y'all better have high ass graduation rates in those districts. Are you kidding me? Over this one fucking course, I'd like to know how many students are enrolled in the course. What's the impact of removing it versus the impact of keeping it? Like, let's be honest here. This right here is completely creep control. They're going up the ladder. It's a slippery slope. They do this, what else is next? So here's what North Dakota said. I haven't seen the course content for this particular course, but just from reading certain news reports, there are allegations that it contains elements of critical race theory. So we're going to need to look at it. We don't want to assign a course code to something that violates state law. Arkansas, we will review the information, including the recent changes, and assess the course at the end of this year's pilot, to ensure students are taught factual history and that participation articulates into college credit that is beneficial to students. So you telling me that this college credit is going to be beneficial because you know what my future is going to look like. You know what kind of degree program what if I wanted to go into Black History Studies? This seems like it'd be beneficial to me. How can you choose which one is applicable or not? So then we get to what Virginia had to say. And so Virginia is saying that has asked state officials to examine the class to determine whether it conflicts with his previous executive order forbidding certain ways of teaching about race. On Youngkin's first day in office last year, he issued an executive order that bars teachers from teaching inherently divisive concepts. And so, this is where we are, y'all. It's a wave. And it's funny how this is all happening 2 years before the general election. So now we got AP course. We got the book side of the class. You got some jerk, I was going to talk about it, but it's not even worth it. Some jerk in Congress right now wants to pass a law to get rid of the federal Department of Education to allow the states to run it. Fuck out of here. You got Ron DeSantis literally saying that DC needs to break up its buildings and allocate each office to another state because they're so complacent. They don't really understand the world around them. I said, now, for a number of reasons, that's dumb. First, security. They keep them grouped together for security reasons. It's easy to protect a lot of government high-level surveillance offices in one sort of region than to have one way over here, and then they all meet. That's just dumb. But we have this coming up. So expect this to be what our election looks like. Less of the political stuff and more of the minutia is what I'm seeing. Now, that's really what I wanted to cover under politics. The Don't Say Gay bill, the AP studies, and I certainly wanted to give you all a heads up on this murder rate. What did you all have to say? Hey, Shay, welcome to the member. Shay. Hey, Kingsmena, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for being here. I love my white people, but y'all will knock somebody off because the smell of their farts ain't right. Hey, Teacher Suge, good morning. Yellow, me sitting in Jersey sipping my tea, okay? That's why poor whites don't need to vote for Trump. They don't understand. He doesn't. Kingsman, when I tell you that's so the truth, he don't care about y'all. He just sees that you're the same skin color, but your dynamics, your environment, your demographics, some of that is similar to some of these urban areas that you all so much hate. You all got just the amount of, I was counting Walmarts. Y'all have just the same amount of Walmarts, if not. They put them closer to your communities so that folks travel way out there. I don't know if it's a ploy to bring income to your area, but I'm gonna start looking at that. Hey Zap, good morning, Zap. Good morning. Yes, I hope you did have a good anniversary, and shout out to you for that February 14th. What was it? You said 20-year anniversary? Girl, Virginia need to worry about why they got 6-year-old packing pistols. Baby, Ron DeSanctimonious is a total nut, total fool. They are trying to push mental health on many students nationwide. I think it could be very dangerous. Misdiagnosis happens quite often, and often a slippery slope, as we always see time and time again. The fact they call education of Black people critical is telling. Ain't it? The fact that discussing race, specifically Black history, needs to be reviewed to make sure that everyone feels okay. It's not a everyone feels okay situation. Y'all don't do that shit about Native Americans, and y'all completely scrubbed them from history books. I was just reading the other day. The where I live at sits on an Indian reservation. The museums over here, and I'm doing this for my job, doing research for my job. The museums over here gifted and continuously gifts these Indian tribal communal. They gift them money each year. It's called a tax. And I said, wow. I'm thinking all Indian reservations really are on the West Coast. No, baby. I'm in Maryland. And we're sitting on this whole little area. It's like a square where I'm at right now. It's sitting on two Indian, but you don't really hear too much about that. But when it get to black, see, because you're covering some shit up, and feelings will get hurt because it's the truth. It's the truth. That's why I'm gonna keep talking about it. I'm gonna keep talking about what y'all doing, damaging. Hey, Miss Gerald, thank you again for being a member, rejoining. I think you were a member before. All right, y'all, we got to get into some shit. We got to get into some things. We got to get into local news. All right, y'all. Now we about to get into local news. Before I do that, please make sure you hit that like button for me. Give me a little love this morning. Give me a little love. All right. First thing I want to do is today get into injustice stories. Okay, we're going to do 2 injustice stories. Now, it's so funny because my last live with you all, we talked about a man who was falsely put into prison, right? Because a woman and her husband and daughter claimed that he tied them up in the basement. Didn't want to do the new trial. Anyways, he got off, and the man received $1.3 million in compensation, right? We all were like, okay, great. This wasn't enough for 20 years. How about we got another story? Lamar Johnson, Missouri man who served 27 years in prison, is freed as judge vacates his conviction. Now let's talk about this story. So Lamar Johnson, back in, was it 1995? Back in 1995. Okay, it actually happened on October 30th, 1994. But back in 1995, he was at his girlfriend's house watching movies. You know what that means, okay? That was the old Netflix and chill, watching movies. And he was slaying, he was selling drugs. So he got a call, somebody wanted something. So he walked down the street to the corner to sell somebody some drugs and then turns around and walks back to his place. That's it. That's all. That's all that man did that night. Baby, how about on that same block, same corner, literally 5 minutes after this man turned around after his little drug thing went on, somebody was getting into an argument over a $40 debt that they owed another drug dealer. And the man got shot. And so a witness said that they saw him. Okay, out of everybody, they saw Lamar. They saw Lamar shoot the man. Now, y'all just heard what I said. Lamar literally turned around and walked back to his place. Sat in jail for 27 years over something he didn't do. Now, during this time, right, the other man who actually, it was 2 guys there. The second guy that was standing there, he went to jail. He only served 6 months and he was able to get out because he was considered an accessory, right? How about the guy who actually did it? He died. He ended up dying. He died, 6 years into this case, passed away, lived his life fully. The man, the eyewitness, literally went back to the judge and the court and the police and said, I made a mistake. It's the wrong guy. And he tried to recant and tried to recant. Nobody wanted to pick up this man's case. Finally, he gets some lawyers who picks it up and says, wait a minute, no evidence. You were there. And an eyewitness who recanted, they just didn't want to reopen it. What? So the judge dismisses it. Now, here's where Roman gets mad. The judge dismisses it. And because this state does not allow compensation to victims who are wrongly accused, he walks away with no compensation. This man has to restart his whole entire life all over again. Literally. And so on Tuesday, Missouri Circuit Court Judge David Masson ruled that Johnson's trial included constitutional error and that there is clear and convincing evidence of Lamar Johnson's actual innocence. And I said, no shit. He didn't actually do nothing. And so they go on to say Johnson was found guilty in July of 95, and in September of that year, he was given a sentence of life in prison without the chance of parole. From his cell at the Jefferson City Correctional Center, Johnson has maintained that he was not involved in the killing. He claimed he was with his girlfriend the night Boyd was shot to death, except for a brief period when he was out selling drugs, which was blocks from the scene of the shooting. And so you have this man locked up. He literally said, we're gonna watch it. Said when he come out, he have to get readjusted. Everything is changed. Y'all using cell phones now. And this is even worse because you're out broke. I could see if he came out with a coin to help him rehabilitate. This man literally is out broke. And so let me share this clip with you all. Check this out. And crew, please hit that like button. Give me some love this morning. Give me some love this morning. No compensation for Lamar Johnson.
Free man. He says he wants to find a job, see the ocean, and try to rebuild his life. And while Johnson tries to move past his wrongful conviction, his case is sparking calls for reform. It is putting new focus on efforts to get restitution for those in prison for crimes they didn't commit. And News 4's Russell Kinsall goes in depth tonight on what's being proposed in Missouri that could be life-changing for many.
I'm still processing it. This is also new. Everything's so different.
Lamar Johnson said one of the first differences he noticed in downtown St. Louis after 28 years in prison, the wheel at Union Station.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting on that.
After a judge exonerated Johnson and he walked free Tuesday, his focus is on moving forward.
I thought I would have some time to rest, but I kind of feel like I'm ready to hit the ground running. And I want to work, try to rebuild my life.
Nimrod Chappell is the president of the Missouri NAACP.
For him personally, I'm ecstatic. The organization is welcoming him home.
But Chappell said Johnson's conviction is proof there are problems with the criminal justice system. The Missouri NAACP is calling for greater accountability for police and prosecutors and a greater ability for citizens to take them to court.
I think it's time to give the power back to the people, to let them take the matters into their own hands within a court of law to get justice for themselves.
Johnson begins his new life without any compensation from Missouri for the 28 years he was wrongly locked in a prison.
Missouri will spend thousands of dollars fighting innocent cases that come forward, and it won't give a dime to anybody who is wrongfully incarcerated.
State Senator Steve Roberts of St. Louis hopes to help future exonerated citizens through a proposal he's sponsoring, Senate Bill 146.
You have someone who is unjustly convicted for a period of time, however long that is. It's the obligation of the state to do everything they can to try to make it right.
Roberts' bill calls for people wrongfully convicted and in prison to get $65,000 for each year in prison, plus housing and tuition assistance. For Johnson, that would have meant a check for $1.8 million.
It's not just about, throwing money at the problem. It's how do we help this person
that man
reintegrate back into society and find that purpose and just be back with their communities.
But the bill is not the law, so supporters are relying on a GoFundMe account to raise money for Johnson. For his part, Johnson hasn't talked about suing. Instead, he speaks of gratitude.
I've worked for the state for 30 years and I don't have any social security, but that's okay. I have my life and my freedom, and I'm grateful for that.
Russell Kinsall, News 4.
Sickening, so sickening. And so this leads me to our This leads me to our Black History Month, where we pay it forward, of course, where we pay it forward. Black History Month, where we pay it forward, get involved, support Black nonprofits. And so in looking at this story, and I told you all this week I want to focus on education, workforce development. I took a look at this, and if you don't know, the recidivism rates for Black men in the U.S. prison systems are higher than all other groups. And so my focus today was on organizations that are actually doing the work to help rehabilitate men, just like Lamar Jackson, who was wrongfully accused, to put them back out here. And so you have, of course, the National Urban League. Now, their Urban Reentry Jobs program is signature. Okay, it's almost probably one of the key programs that people refer Black people to when it comes to reentry into the job workforce. And it's by all means, it's because it works. So 85% of their participants earns a credential or a certificate, 62% becomes employed, and 95% returns. Participants do not return to prison. And I want you all to remember that 95% of the participants in the National Urban League's reentry jobs program, they don't return back to prison. And that's why this is important. So their approach, they provide formerly incarcerated adults with the necessary skills and training to successfully re-enter the job market and to find a position with a livable wage that could potentially lead to a career with an elevated income. Now, one thing that is key here is this: 6 months post-program, their participants, because part of the program is putting you in the job while you're in the program. You have to report to the job because see, they get paid money which they pay you to work a job, and if you stay in that for 6 months, they're saying that you're seeing a salary of 12,000 plus average yearly earnings, which is higher than the national average of someone coming out of jail receiving $9,000 and $360 per participant. So this is absolutely something that's critical, and we need it. There's a lot of black men who've done things in their childhood that they shouldn't have done. Now, I'm not talking about murdering your parents and all that crazy shit. That you need your ass in jail. But a lot of ridiculous crimes, small crime theft, a fight. Nobody was killed or anything, but you got into a fight. A lot of these different things, and it's case by case, but they do need to come out and they do need to get back into our community and they do need to be offered some level of opportunity. And so I saw this here. Services. 1, job training in high demand occupational fields. You're literally on the job receiving training. Okay. Job placement services, one-on-one and group mentoring services. And we know how important that is. It's so important, mentoring and one-on-one. And then lastly, supportive services and assistance. And then they also offer customized case management. So it's just for all the right reasons. It's so important. I'm going to drop their link in the chat. If anybody want to go to the website, check it out. If you know of any friends or family who might be interested in what this might offer, what a program might offer, I dropped that in the chat. Now, we did our part this morning. We definitely supported the organization. We gifted them $25. We are so thankful for your donation. Your support to the National Urban League demonstrates a commitment to our vision for economic equality for all Americans. And shout out to the National Urban League doing the work. Because as we can see in these stories, if it's not for folks like that doing the work, we got a Lamar Johnson out here who clearly 27 years behind jail at the hands of the state. And he gets nothing out of it. Yeah, y'all better push this fucking bill. You better push the bill. So Lamar Johnson, I welcome back. And I hate to keep hearing these stories. That's why I'm covering them, because we find it more and more. And so now let's get into another injustice story. Now, this story right here, this one is completely ridiculous. I just don't understand it. So we have a woman. Okay, her name is Danielle Whaley. She's a chef. Okay, she goes by Chef Whaley on Instagram. Okay. In May of 2022, she was driving her car. So she stopped, and as she stopped, this man tried to rob her. And when he robbed her, he shot her, right? So she called the police. Police officer comes on the scene, takes it as the eyewitness of her what happened, and the man is arrested, okay? So he spends 101 days in jail with bond, okay? The court date was in October of last year, right? Guess what happens to this woman? The case is dismissed and dropped. Now, mind you, she's paralyzed for the rest of her life. She used to be a chef where she would go make meals for her clients. She can't do anything like that. Completely shut her business down. And I felt bad for this young black woman. This could have been any of us. And so the case is dismissed. You want to know why the case dismissed? Because the police officer failed to show up. This woman is so fucking distraught right now. The police officer failed to show up. And you know why he says he failed to show up? He didn't see a notice. Nobody told him. He didn't know. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? So this is where we are. Woman left paralyzed in armed robbery crash learns case against suspect is dismissed. And so we're here now because she's pleading to the news. She's pleading to everyone, hear about my case. Somebody help me. This is not right. This is not fair. And I'm sitting here thinking like, huh? Are you kidding? Like, for real, for real? You can't issue no warrant, bench warrant for that police officer. There's no subpoena for the police officer. Y'all can't do none of that shit for the police officer. But I bet you if this was a different kind of case with a different kind of situation, oh, baby, people would have showed up. How you don't show up? It wasn't like he was a rookie employee. He was like a sergeant or a lieutenant. And that's why they didn't want to subpoena him, because he was high up. Assholes. Now this lady is paralyzed for the rest of her life because of this man. Check this one out.
First at 6, an Atlanta woman left paralyzed after being shot during an armed robbery. Atlanta police arrested a suspect in the case, but the charges have been dismissed. And it's because the state's only witness, a police officer, wasn't in court for a preliminary hearing.
Only on 11 Alive, Latasha Gibbons is looking into what happened. She joins us live right now from APD headquarters with the very latest. Latasha?
Well, Ron and Jennifer, this victim says this shooting has changed every part of her life. And the only recourse she had was to see the gunman behind bars. But instead, all charges against him were dropped because the officer simply failed to show up for court. Chef Whaley was a rising food prep chef known as Chef Yummy on Instagram.
I'm with the challenge.
Now she's confined to a wheelchair, paralyzed from the chest down. In May of 2022, she was shot alongside Donnelly Hollowell Parkway. Whaley says a man robbed her, and as she tried to drive away, he shot at her car.
And when I drove away, he shot through the back window, and that went through the window and hit me in the back. It pierced through the driver's seat and hit me in my back.
She couldn't stop and crashed into another vehicle, ultimately landing in front of this plaza.
In the moment, you're like, am I dying? Am I dead? You miss those things that you used to do.
Now, with only the use of her arms, she had to cancel all of her clients.
I make them smile. I feed the community. I miss those things. So
Jail records show Atlanta police arrested a suspect a month later in June for aggravated assault and robbery. And after 101 days in jail without being indicted, a judge granted the man bond.
now you are out here and you can harm the next individual. Because
he didn't post bond, but in October, a judge dropped all charges and released him from jail. The reason? The officer, the state's only witness, never showed up to court. An APD spokesman tells us we found no record of the officer being subpoenaed for this case. We have a court liaison office that is responsible for receiving, documenting, and distributing all subpoenas, and they have no record of this subpoena. We obtained a copy of the case dismissal notice where a judge wrote, quote, "The state has had ample time to prepare for a preliminary hearing, and the state's witness failed to appear for a scheduled court date. The judge dismissed the case, breaking Whaley's heart."
it feels horrible. It feels like a punch in the chest. It feels like I got shot all over again.
And within the last hour, the DA tells us they disagree with APD, saying the subpoena was served and that the officer simply failed to show up. The DA's office also tells us they plan to present this case to a grand jury this month with the goal of an indictment so that suspect can be recharged. Ron, Jennifer, back to you.
Latasha, thank you.
Now, my only question to you all, right, is why is it February 2023? Now all of a sudden you all want to, the case isn't closed and you want to issue this to a grand jury. The man's case was dismissed in October. We're in February. Just because she got some national news fucking attention. This is so annoying and I feel so bad for this girl. She's paralyzed and sitting here because of, I was going to say a fat ass police officer, but a fucking police officer decides I don't want to show up. That's horrible. That's horrible to me. And I felt bad for her. I went to her Instagram. She done pulled half the shit off her Instagram. Just embarrassed and not really feeling like her regular self because she got to wheel around. So sad. Shout out to you, Danielle Whaley. I'm sorry to hear that. Another injustice story. Now, let's get to our crazy, crazy stories, our fast food crime. Now, y'all, I don't know what's going on. And I keep telling y'all this time and time again. If they don't have an extra fry, if they don't have the cheese, If they don't have all that shit, the extra cookie, leave. Is McDonald's cookies that good, you all? How about their fries? Is it really that good? Bitch, I'm not gonna argue over no. If I want some extra cheese and you didn't give it to me, I don't think at this point in my life I'm not arguing over some extra cheese on a fast food burger. Just not doing it. I'm not doing it. That's just me. Call me what you want. Oh, that's whack. If it was me, I'm gonna do something. Hey, to each his own. So let's talk about Burger King, okay? So this man pulls up to Burger King, right? He's ordering his meal and he's asking them for something that they don't have currently. Now, I'm believing it's the chicken nuggets because he asked for a large quantity and he was told that he could only get a certain quantity, right? So he's arguing with the man. Well, the sign says, and the man in the restaurant is like, bro, hey, yo, I'm telling you, what the fuck? What you want to do something? So the man's sitting there like, whatever, because you know we customers and we think we right. So the customer is sitting in his car. Do you know the Burger King employee came outside? Not only did he come outside, the customer got out his car like, I'm about to get ready to fight too. So they get to fighting. The Burger King employee pulls out a gun and shoots the man. All of this over not having enough nuggets. Burger King employee shoots customer after fighting over drive-through intercom. Eddie the fuck Lewis Smith. Now this happened last Thursday in Mississippi. He's currently held on a $300,000 bond for aggravated assault and possession of a deadly weapon. Y'all check this shit out. Y'all check this shit out, crew. I said, okay, all right. Over in Burger King, no. We gonna do this. Oh, no clip on this one. I'm sorry, no clip on this one. So the man, the guy that he shot, he ended up getting arrested and going to not getting arrested. He ended up living, wasn't critical, but the employee ends up going to jail. Now, here was my thing. Is there anybody else in the store that could be held accountable? Why in the hell is your employee coming to work with a fucking gun? That was my first question. That was the first question I wanted to know. Is he the manager? Because as the customer, as an employee working with a manager and a gun, what if I was to go off on my manager? Or what if I was to say something wrong and he feels like this? That was my first thing, like, damn, they working with guns? So I kept thinking like, okay, damn, what's going to happen to nothing? This man is arrested. Burger King issued a statement. We're working with authorities. Of course y'all are. I hope somebody else is on the line for this shit. I'm not trying to say, but this is the only way you start nipping this shit in the bud. One fuck up, you fuck. You know the rule when you were younger. If he fucks up, I'm whooping your ass. And that taught you, hey, you can't be doing that. That same thing needs to apply in this restaurant. Ain't no fucking way you telling me a man working at Burger King is coming in here with a loaded gun to the point that he gets an attitude with a customer. No one can stop him because he got a gun. So they letting him go. That's your first mistake there. Because the first thing would have been, chill out. I got this order. Let's move forward. But y'all probably scared because the man got a gun. And that's your problem. You don't have employees at your... Can you imagine a cashier working at Walmart with a gun? Just think about it. And then you get up there and you ringing some shit. Sir, that sign said $2.99. I don't know why it's ringing up $22.99. I don't know what to tell you. Well, it's what it's ringing. I don't know what to tell you. And then y'all get in and he pulls his gun out. Do you see what I'm saying? No. So I hold Burger King at fault as well. I hope this man, as a customer, can go file some charges on Burger King. That's where your money is, bruh. Yeah, get him criminally, but you need to get that liability up off of him. Go on and give me them dollars. I want enough nuggets for the rest of my life. And they should understand. Nextly, maybe you need to start screening employees at this location. Hey, let me do a pat down. Sorry, he fucked it up for the rest of them. I'm sorry. Just keeping it real with you. But y'all thought that was something. So that was Burger King. So we have Burger King. That's Burger King, right? Can we go to McDonald's? So let's go to McDonald's. So this woman is in the McDonald's drive-thru too, right? And you know how at McDonald's, they must ask you if you're using the app and if you have a coupon from their app. And if they don't ask you that first, you get a free cookie. It says it in the app, all that shit. And so this lady, she's sitting in the drive-thru like this, just waiting to hear. And they, hi, welcome to McDonald's. How may I take your order? Hello, ma'am. How may I take your order? Y'all owe me a free cookie. That's all I'm saying. Y'all owe me a free cookie, and I want to get a number one. So the girl gets up to the front, and she ain't got no free cookie in her bag. This girl went the fuck off in the window. Where my fucking free cookie? You bitches tried it. Give me my motherfucking, I will fucking kill you bitches. Takes it one step further. She pulls her gun out at the drive-thru window, loads it, points it at the people in the window, and tells them, I will fucking shoot y'all if y'all don't put this cookie in this bag. So they put the cookie in the bag now. Mind you, they put the cookie in the bag. Bitches was like, give that bitch 5 fucking cookies. Any fresh ones, give her the tray. Bitch, here. We gonna walk this out to you. That would have been me, bitch. Load them up, right? So that wasn't enough. She ain't like that shit. So she go park her car. Now the employees see her parking her car, so they all running, locking the doors. Bitch, lock up. Calling the police, lock up. This girl, the dummy who supposed to lock the door, didn't lock the other door. So it wasn't lock. He locked all of them but one door to let this girl in. So she gets in with the gun, grabs the man. Not a woman, a female. She grabs the nigga, grabs him by his arm, pop him with the gun one time and say, let's go outside. She take him outside and she just started beating his ass outside. I said, at the end of the day, when we pull all the layers off the onion, all this was over a free cookie from an app, girl. And half the time those cookies be so fucking cold and dry and hard, sitting out in the air in those things, in them little trays. I could have went to Walmart and got you a roll of cookies and made you some bomb cookies. My cookies be good. Are you kidding me? You lazy ass turd. So police show up, right? She ain't done. She's still beating the man ass. The man he had to go to the hospital because his arm got fucked up. Police show up on the scene. She start resisting with them. So they said, bitch, you crazy. You are crazy. So Amari Hendricks, 24, she's been arrested on aggravated assault, exhibit of a firearm, battery, resisting, all of this in Altamont Springs, Florida. Near where I be at, in Orlando, Florida. Near my people, Altamont Springs. All of this because of a free cookie. Y'all check this hoe out. Florida woman pulled out gun at McDonald's employee over a cookie. Okay? Amari Hendricks in court on February 17th, the day after she allegedly pulled out a gun on McDonald's employees for not immediately giving her a free cookie she believed she was owed. I said, honey, you needed more than a cookie. You look high. First of all, that bitch had the munchies. That's what it was. That bitch wanted everything. She didn't want just the cookie, bitch. She wanted something else. She was hoping y'all put something else in the bag. She looked in the bag. Just one? Bitch, I will shoot you. All of that. So she went off. I could not imagine working at McDonald's that day. Baby, she knows she would have had all the cookies. I would have been taking them out customers' bag. Ma'am, can you come back here? I forgot something. Nope. Get that to her. She'd have had all the cookies in the world. Do you hear me? So y'all check out Amari Hendricks, okay? Coming to us out of Florida, Altamont Springs, over a motherfucking cookie. And y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Shout out.
A dispute in a McDonald's drive-thru landed a local woman in jail after workers say that woman loaded a handgun in a threatening manner.
And get this, the argument was allegedly all over a cookie. Watch News' Dave McDaniel gives us a closer look at this incident and the serious charges she is now facing.
It was just before noon Thursday at this McDonald's on State Road 434 near 436.
There is an allegation of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without the intent to kill.
24-year-old Amari Hendricks, a fast food manager herself, it turns out, went before a judge Friday afternoon. Police say an upset Hendricks thought she was entitled to a free cookie. Next thing McDonald's workers see is that Hendricks allegedly
has a handgun while she's in the drive-thru, so they call 911.
The report says a worker sees Hendricks insert a magazine the hand and rack then hears clicking sounds associated with someone chambering around.
The employees that were there, the drive-through, were in fear. I mean, you can only imagine. I mean, it's a handgun. It put anyone most likely in fear.
In fact, one worker stated she was in fear for her life. The report says Hendricks did point the firearm towards the drive-through window, one worker saying he could see down the barrel of the firearm. Initially brought to the Seminole County Jail being held without bond, the judge did set bonds this afternoon totaling just over $30,000, telling Hendricks that if she's released, there would be other conditions.
And you are to possess no firearms or ammunition as a condition of your release.
Police say Hendricks drove out of the drive-through, parked and walked to the door. A worker tried to lock her out, but failed, according to police.
Ends up making contact with one of the employees and gets into physical altercation. Thankfully, all employees are okay.
Okay, but the report says a worker did have scratches on his face and neck. In Altamont Springs, Dave McDaniel, West 2 News.
Hendricks was pulled over a block from the scene, and according to that report, a loaded gun found on the driver's side floorboard.
I don't understand how people in 2023 are getting banned from McDonald's and Burger King. You got an employee who don't know how to handle himself at Burger King. You got a customer mad over cookies at McDonald's, right? What the fuck is your problem? Now, crew, I wouldn't do this show the way I'm laying it out if I didn't have a reason for putting those two first. Now, I got a question to ask y'all. When you see the black employee go off on the other black person and shoot them, you feel like, what the fuck, bitch, what? When you see the customer, the black customer, go off on the black employee and pulls out a gun, you're like, what the fuck? And so my question to you is, how do you feel? How do you feel when you see a Karen doing the same exact thing? Get into it.
Where's your manager? Can I speak to your manager? I asked for extra ketchup, and I got what is this? What is this? This is so much ketchup. I can't eat that. Are you making fun of me because I'm on a diet? Are we going to have it? Sugar? Ketchup? How do we know you're on a diet? You okay? I'm upset. Are you on drugs? How do we know you're on a diet? Because look, I'm just a man. I just made it, yes. I'm on drugs. I do on drugs. Lower your voice, okay? Yeah. Calm me down and respect you. All of this wasn't necessary.
Okay.
What is this? What is this?
So I wanted to come out and publicly let everyone know that that was me in the video. After this video was published on TikTok, it went viral and news organizations wrote about me. And I honestly have no idea. I am simply baffled that this is possible. People found out where I work and they sent the video to my employer. I was then fired from my job. That's right, I was fired, which I find to be extremely unfair because all I was doing was going to get my weekly cheat meal, and it was the McDonald's employees that did not follow the simple directions that I asked for. So I felt that I had the right to come in and let them know that my burger was not made correctly. I did nothing wrong. Literally, I did nothing wrong. So please leave me alone. This is extremely unfair of you guys to do this to me. Thank you.
Wah, wah, wah. Honey, so let me tell y'all this. This is how I feel. If that white woman was a black woman sitting there and slammed it down, I would want her ass fired too. I would want her doxxed too. I would want her information out too. Absolutely. For me, it's not. The problem is that more times out of likely, we see the black stories in the media. You didn't see this Karen story. You didn't see nobody call. You didn't see none of that. But what you see is you see these other stories. And that's why I did it the way I did. I wanted to show y'all the way in which what happens. It could have been anybody. but they get reported on. Burger King employee shoots customer after fighting over drive-through intercom. Florida woman pulled out gun on McDonald's employees over a cookie. But you get nothing about this woman slamming down her burger and going irate in a restaurant. It could have turned violent, and I'm sure there are situations where they turn violent, but we rarely hear about them. And so I wanted to show that contrast. Do you feel the same? The same way you feel about the Karen story? Would you feel the same about the Burger King and McDonald's? And for me, absolutely. Don't be coming in here while I'm working, disrespecting me and pulling out a firearm. Yeah, that's grounds for you to go to jail and lose whatever privileges you got in your life. Black, white, Indian, alien, the people on the balloon, the Chinese spy balloon, whatever the fuck, whatever, whomever. Absolutely. It's not right. I feel that way all the way around, universally. That's just how I feel. And I wanted to show you all that. And I want you all to look at stuff like that. Be a little analytical, like, okay, I get it. I get that. And what's the crew been saying? What up? Right. Okay, girl. Wah, wah. The audacity to make that video. Yes, you should have been fired. Good. Oh, they have patience. They have patience. They mama having a bad day. Like the black woman, she did way too much. I'm glad they found out where she worked and got her fired. She jumped from 0 to 100. Oh my fucking God. She deserved to be locked up. They got to be something in the food. Damn. And yes, please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Over a cookie. Over a cookie. She's changed the course of her life over a cookie. She'll now forever be known as Amara Hendricks. You know, that's the girl who took a gun to McDonald's over a cookie. I would love for her to come out and do an interview. You know, I was really hungry. Bitch, do you know there's so many other options before the McDonald's store? You could have even went to the gas station and got you some Famous Amos. Now, I'll fuck those up from anywhere. Famous Amos, you got to be kidding me. The dollar store does some good cookies. What? These reactions remind me of Michael Douglas and Falling Out. Hot coffee would have threw it raw. Doused her ass. She could have got a pack of cookies at the dollar store if she wanted cookies that bad. They didn't think to get her with the hot fry grease. Y'all, now with that gun pointing out, she was too scared. It was like, baby, what? All this over a cookie? Lock her ass up. She better not be waiting on that cookie. All right, y'all. Now, that's all of our crazy stories. Now, there's one clip I want to show you all that is so hilarious to me. Now, can you imagine you were invited to your brother's funeral, right? And let's say the family didn't want to invite you. They didn't even want you to see him because y'all got friction, but they did anyways. When you get up to give your final words, what are you going to say? Is that going to be your moment where you let the family know how you feel? Or are you going to pay respect to your brother? Well, let's see what this woman had to say. Shout out to the girl.
I've said everything I had to say to my uncle prior to the cancellation of my visits. He knew I loved him. So, rest in peace, Uncle. You'll see your family and everyone else. And I guess that's why he called his daughter a crook. So, thank you all. I wasn't treated, and my family wasn't treated very kindly in my father's last day, my uncle's last day. So we're done. Thank you. And have a great day.
Now, I don't know. Like, I would have checked, I'd have said all of that shit, like, well, they'd have known that's how I felt. I wouldn't have did it. I wouldn't want it to have that moment with me saying those words. Like, damn, you couldn't wait for another moment? Not at all. So I thought that was funny. And now I just want to remind you all again that, you know, we're supporting Black History Month where we pay it forward. And this week we're focusing on education and workforce development. And so the organization we chose is the National Urban League, specifically their Urban Reentry Jobs Program. The stats are alarming. It's a really, really good program. We gifted them $25 this morning. So please go out and support that organization. I dropped the link in the chat. And also our question of the day, and please hold it to the end. Question of the day is, what is your first line of defense in a non-physical confrontation? Silence for understanding. Would you respond immediately? Retreat and wait? Ignore and avoidance? Or is there some other strategy you employ? I would love to know. And our quote of the day was, you need to look after yourself too. If you need to rest, rest. If you need time alone, recharge yourself. Never be afraid to just recharge your energy, because that's when you are the best you. All right, now we got to get into the crazy, crazy stories of today. Now, this next story, okay, I'm going to put a disclaimer. Yes, this story is very much so triggering and alarming, okay? So we have, we have a man named Corey Rollins. This is Corey Rollins. Y'all see him? So Corey Rollins is a elementary teacher, okay? He is 25 years old, right? So Corey Rollins on a Saturday told everyone that he was going to this urban air adventure park, right, to meet up with some family to do a visit. Well, at this park, in a children's only area where kids are only fenced in, there's this 7-year-old boy and another boy sitting on a bench. Corey walks over to the boy and kneels down and asks this 7-year-old boy to take his socks off. And when the boy takes his socks off, he starts rubbing his feet. We're talking daylight at a fucking park, all on camera. Everybody could see you. Takes the boy's socks off, starts rubbing his feet, y'all. And then he starts licking this 7-year-old boy's feet. So the 7-year-old goes to his mother. The other boy next to the 7-year-old goes to his mother. There's this man down here and he was tickling my feet. And so the mother's like, what? Huh? So she goes to the park owner and tells the park owner, and the park owner rolling a beautiful red, that bean footage. What the fuck? And then they see not only rubbing your feet, but licking. What the fuck is wrong with you? Licking his feet. And not only that, y'all, he had his camera phone out recording it with the flashlight on. All is caught on camera. Changed the course of this man's life forever. He was a 25-year-old paraprofessional educator in the Richmond County Glen Hills Elementary School. I said everybody and every camera at that school for however long he's worked there needs to be revisited. Every student, every teacher, everybody around him needs to be spoken to. If he's done this so willingly, so publicly, all bets started the fuck off. Now get this, y'all. So the police arrive on scene. This is him while the police arrive on scene at the park. They're questioning him. Y'all already know. They're questioning him, right? So he sit there and tells them, I was up here meeting my family. I wasn't doing that. He's lying. I wasn't doing that. He don't know they saw him on camera. That wasn't me. So he's looking at his phone and shit. Police sitting there waiting for the cameras and they waiting to review all this shit. They holding him like, you ain't going nowhere. Hold on, buddy. Hold on, girl. Hold on, Judy. Mr. Inappropriate ass man. Hold on. So finally they came back, sir, we see you. You're under arrest, all this good stuff. Then he confessed. Yes, I didn't meet family up here. No. I said, oh my God. Not only did they should check this footage, they need to check other footage of him coming up to this park and doing this shit. So we have elementary school gym paraprofessional allegedly licked and tickled a 7-year-old boy's feet at an amusement park after asking victim to remove their socks. Corey fucking Rollins. It goes on to say the little boy informed his guardian that Rollins approached him in the play area and began to tickle his feet. He then asked the child to take his socks off and proceeded to lick the kid's feet. Once the business owner was alerted of the disgusting act and authorities were called, the man said he wanted Rollins removed from his property. Rollins told officials he was at the park with his family, but they just left, and he was also leaving soon. The 25-year-old was arrested and charged with sexual exploitation of children. Do you not know that your life is forever changed? You are not the Corey Rollins you thought you were the day before. You are now moving from this point on. You are totally different. Me as your relative will be sitting here looking at you like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? And don't let me have had kids around you, sir. Because you just like the man rushed the courtroom with the Buffalo shooter. Baby, are you kidding me? I just could not for the life of me understand what kind of sick ass shit is going on in your head. And then you look at him. This is a picture pulled from his page, Instagram page. This is arrest picture. This them taking pictures of him outside, standing. And I'm looking at him like, wow. Wow. You fucking pervert. Yeah, you are. And see, this is what I don't want to do, crew. And I speak to y'all like y'all my homie. Like I'm sitting here talking to y'all on some real shit. So take everything I'm saying like that. I don't want to say this man is a homosexual. I don't want to say he's gay. I don't want to do any of that. I want to wait till all the facts come out. Because in my mind, I don't want to tie that shit to that. And I don't want to piss myself off knowing that you would allegedly in the community pulling stunts like this, nigga. Do you know how damaging that is to not only to you, bitch, to the rest of us? So I said, I don't want to put nothing on that. I don't want to even go that far. I'm not even going to say nothing about that. But bruh, you definitely have fucked up. You definitely fucked up. So y'all got to check out this clip. And again, I'm only sharing this because we need to talk about it. The details in this might be a little alarming and it might be graphic. You might not want to watch it, but trust me, it's information we need to know. These motherfuckers out here on that funny shit. And if the summer's coming up, we all go to amusement parks. Be mindful of every fucking thing. I don't care if it say children on or only area and you sit your child there and you run to go get something. Hell no. You know what you do in those instances? FaceTime them. Just like my cousin do her sons. Put them on FaceTime. You walking away to go get your drink and you watch it. Every fucking thing. Everything. Get in the habit of teaching your kids FaceTime. Absolutely. If you gotta walk away like that. Don't ever. This really disturbed me. You licking some little boy's feet. Now, I haven't even got to, after I watch this, we're going to talk about the trauma of the 7-year-old at the expense of some black man who's a fucking pervert. And we're going to get into lessons. So y'all check this out. Yeah, it pissed me off. Yeah, y'all know I don't be wanting to talk about stuff like this, but this shit really bothered me. I'm not understanding. You licking some 7-year-old boy feet. Hold up. I ain't even done. Hold up. Let me just stop right there. You out here licking some 7-year-old boy feet lets me know how thirsty you are. You know how many grown fucking men? Do you know how many people in the world will slap you in the face with their feet? You have an issue, sir. You have a fucking issue. You shouldn't be around nobody's child. No one. Fuck you licking somebody's child foot. Been on stumped a hole. You can't even touch my dog's paw. Pervert. Because it's so fresh, it's not really a lot of news clips on it. Literally had to grab this one and saw it, but that's the only video they have of the situation. You know, I just want to make sure we know what we're dealing with here. A 25-year-old, Corey Rollins, that's his name. He's an educator at Glen Hills Elementary School. Man, he need to be registered. Following his arrest, the school district said Rollins is no longer an employee of the Richmond County school system. As of February 16th, he was in custody at the Richmond County Jail. That's exactly where you need to be. You sick pervert. Now, do y'all think this, let's just be honest. This 7-year-old boy, he knew it was something wrong. He knew it was not right. In the moment, knew it was not right. The activity occurred. He knew to share his mom something went wrong. He absolutely did the right thing. Share with his mom that something was wrong. Absolutely. Now, what do you think he's going to feel the next time he's in a situation and there's men that may look like him around? Do you see the traumatizing effects that we have on our own community? I don't want that boy to ever look at me or anybody and say, oh my God, he's going to try to do something. No. Boy, if anything, I will shower you with love. And that's the shit that makes me mad, because it's like, you don't understand when shit like this happens, it's a domino effect. And I be talking to people like, I would never want somebody to ever think that shit like this happens. It's everyone does. No, ain't nobody out here licking no child's foot. You kidding me? I would dog walk this man. If I was at that park and saw some shit like that, foot to throat complex would be all over it. Are you kidding me? So shout out to the mother for doing the right thing. Shout out to the park owner for getting this man out and arrested. And shout out to the system for making sure child molestation and exploitation charges, they're going to stick, baby. You're going to see some a hefty sentence. I'm sorry. The most vulnerable population, you perv. And shout out to the crew. I'm sorry that was he couldn't find a lady with small feet. I wear kid size shoes. Us ladies like a good toe sucker. I'm just telling you, it's so many people in the world. I'm wearing sneakers to Carol wins from now on. No sandals or flip flops. They need to check any cameras at the school he works at. Yep. And the fact that they didn't find out, so he was able to come back to the school for like 2 weeks before they were able to then let him go. I'm like, oh my God. In that 2 weeks, y'all need to check every fucking thing. That don't make no sense. They need to check all his gadgets. He's recording so that footage could be being, it was shared to other people online. You know it. Wow, sick. He is a 25-year-old man. Hey, the official King Payne. Shout out to the official King Payne. Thank you for dropping down. What's up? Shout out to you. Shout out to the official King Payne over there doing big things. Oh no, he recorded it. Wow. Yes. Yes. With the camera light on. Oh my God. In public, saying what mom wasn't looking at her kids. And I didn't want to go the route there. That's why I just offer some, like, I didn't want to go there. Agree. We all need the rest of the day to be alone. Had mine this past Saturday. Okay, Zach. All right, y'all, start my live. Great live so far as usual. Thank you. Thank you, Risa. Thank you. All right, y'all. So that's foot liquor. All right, now, so I posted this picture as a part of the thumbnail today. Now, this man, what does he look like to y'all? Put it in the chat. Can y'all drop in the chat before I go on? What does he look like to y'all? Just to give me a noun. He looks like what? Basketball player? Is he cute? Would you date him? Would you not? What does he look like? What does this man look like? I want to understand. I want y'all to understand how easy shit can get twisted around these parts. I tell you, when I first saw him, I instantly thought, oh, okay, he must, got his hair cut. He must be well-to-do. At least he got his shit together. I'm assuming, I first thought, of course, this is a straight man, probably got maybe a girlfriend, maybe working. I assumed all of those things. Well, I'm here to tell you that looks can be completely deceiving. This man is a professional grinder, Tinder, professional Tinder serial rapist, as well as a serial robber. He'll rob you, basically. So let's talk about Rodney Richardson. And see, you will get caught up. You can get caught the fuck up. So we got to talk about it. So Rodney Richardson, right? Let's talk about this man, Rodney Richardson. So Rodney Richardson is where's Rodney Richardson at? Rodney Richardson. So he finds his victims on Tinder, right? So he's dating, he's a straight man, but he likes to dibble and dabble every once in a while. So he meets men on Tinder. So there's been a number of occasions. So the first time he met a guy on Tinder, him and the guy stepped outside to smoke some, he met him up outside or whatever, and they smoking weed outside. And after they done, they put the weed out. He pulls a gun out and tells the man, give me your money, give me your wallet. The man complies. Tells the man to get in the car and drive me to your ATM. Man complies. And takes out $4,500. The man later tells the police he don't get caught. Second incident, he ties a man up. Asks the man, do you got HIV? Okay. Proceeds to rape the man. So now he finally gets caught. So robber, raped man, forced him to withdraw money from bank after meeting on date app. Another incident of the same situation. So he has this thing where he gets men, sends them a fake image. His name is Joe, and he has them come over to his place. Once they get there, he pulls a gun out, robs them point blank. Now, here's the crazy thing. He's in Maryland. This happened in, was it Bowie, Maryland? He's right in Maryland. I said, wow, bitch. Woof. Good thing God I ain't on the Tinder. I ain't on the Tinder. That's way too much for me. Hey, it's too many pictures, too much swiping. I want to see a grid. I want to be able to go up a couple, see another grid, all that swiping right and left like you. No. So he did it again. So, man, he eventually has the man drop him off. The man gets out, contacts police. They're able to finally locate Rodney Richardson. And so on Sunday, police were notified of a sexual assault that had occurred over the weekend in Brandywine, about 60 miles south of Baltimore. Using a fake online name, he agreed to hook up with a man he met on Tinder. They met at the victim's house. During that encounter, police say the suspect raped the victim at gunpoint, then demanded he give him his phone, ID, and social security number. I said, wow, get out of here. Get out of here. So we find ourselves back here in this situation. Now, I wanted to bring this to our attention because, it's a lot of niggas that be using the app. You know what I'm saying? Using the app. And so y'all got to be very careful. Good, fine, indifferent or not. I'm telling you, they out here. Now, I'm going to show y'all this clip. But stay tuned because after this one, we got a chick who met a man on Tinder. And y'all got to get into her story. Baby, this dating stuff don't just go for just men. It's for women too. So y'all check out this dude. Oh, nasty self. Prince George County.
An accused online predator in Prince George's County is now behind bars, facing a whole slew of charges. Fox News' Sierra Fox is live in Brandywine to explain what's going on here. Sierra.
Jim, just take a look at your screen. This is 26-year-old Rodney Richardson. He's accused of meeting his victims on a popular dating app, Tinder, and doing horrible things to them.
The message to anybody doing online dating or using an app to buy or sell, first do it in a public place, have the meeting in a public place. Second thing is tell a friend, a family member, what times you're going to be meeting a person, where you're going to be meeting them, and even maybe offer the ability for them to track your phone while you are encountering another individual that you do not know.
Had that phone location on.
We want to warn you, these details are disturbing. According to court documents, Richardson used the fake name Joe on Tinder. Back on February 2nd, a man picked up Richardson and drove him to Horseshoe Road in Brandywine, Maryland. A detective says they stepped out of the SUV to smoke weed and talk. Then shortly after, Richardson allegedly asked the victim for his cell phone. He complied. Then Richardson is accused of taking out a silver handgun, pointing it at him and demanding his wallet. Richardson asked the victim for his debit card PIN number, then drove off in his 2019 white Subaru Forester. Days later, on February 12th, Richardson met up with another man he met on Tinder outside a church before bringing him over to his house. Soon after, Richardson allegedly tied the victim's hands, told him to lay down in the trunk, and asked if he had AIDS before raping him at gunpoint. Legal filings say the attacker watched the man all night. The next day, Richardson allegedly forced the victim to drive him to his bank and take out $4,500 to live in the area. This is disturbing.
It's awful, whether it's a man, raping another man or a man raping a woman. It's horrible.
Child. Again, it don't matter if it's a man or a woman. So we got Rodney Richardson doing this on the Tinder app in Brandywine, Maryland, right? So can we get over? Let's move over to this woman over here in, what's it? Florida? Is it? Where this woman at? What state is she in? Florida? Not Florida. Not Florida. Not Florida. What Florida? Florida. Chicago. That's why it was so good to me. So this next story, we got a Chicago woman, right? So she's on a app and she comes across this guy. So they decided to meet up on Saturday. Now, she's in Chicago and Dalton. Now, I know everything. Well, I don't know everything, but I know all about Dalton, Illinois. She was out on Sibley Avenue in Dalton, Illinois. So they met up. The man ended up kidnapping her and holding her hostage the entire weekend. So, and what's sad about this is that he ended up holding her hostage in his mother's home, which he lived. And the mother says she didn't know anything about that happening in her basement. So, tied the woman up, beating her, raping her, all this over during an app. She thought he was a cute guy, pulled up. Now, when we see, you're going to have the same questions I had. Like, oh, I mean, whatever. So, on Saturday, this past Saturday, they go to Advanced Auto Parts. So she gets out and goes in, and he's sitting in the car still. Don't ask me how she make that happen. So she goes in and she tells them it's a man in the car. He's been kidnapping me, holding me hostage, and beating me. So the man in the store is looking at her like, oh my God. And so she's like, I don't want to panic him or anything because he has a gun. So the people in the store is like, okay, we're going to call 911. They try to keep her in there as long as trying to make it like she's scared and stuff. And, keeping her in the law. I said, all right. So they trying to keep her in. So he gets out the car because she's taking too long and goes in and said, all right, you wait taking too long. Let's go. So she ends up leaving and getting back in the car with the man. So the police arrive on scene and they end up finding this man, driving down, finding the man. I think it was 2 days later, finding the man and her safe. And I said, oh, she's safe. Finding her safe. So he's been arrested on kidnapping charges, all because of a dating app. Now, this is what you call ridiculous. So, Chicago. Woman possibly kidnapped by man she met on dating app sought help at Dalton Auto Store. The woman was found safe and a suspect is in custody. In custody over a fucking dating app. Now, that's what kills me is that most of this stuff that happens to people is like over a little shit. I go on apps every day. Would never think I would be in a crime over a dating app. Thinking I want to hold somebody hostage. What the fuck is wrong with you folks? So the woman, now this is the crazy part. She left. She didn't, put up a fight. They allegedly found her. She was safe and sound, no wounds or nothing like that. Now, do you think the woman wants to press charges on this man or not? I'm going to leave that question for you all. I'm going to leave it for y'all. Y'all drop in the chat and let me know if y'all think this woman wants to press charges. And let's see. Check out this clip. And y'all make sure y'all hit that like button too.
But first, dating app danger. Police are hoping you'll take caution after hearing one Tia Ewing out to save her, and she has more from Dalton tonight.
A woman walked into this Advanced Auto Parts store on Sunday evening and told workers that she was being held against her will after meeting a man on a dating app.
Sitting at the register and she came and told me, she said, this guy sent me in to get an engine check, but he kidnapped me Saturday. And he had me ever since Saturday night because I met him on the app. She said he had a gun, so that's why we didn't want to try to lock in. We didn't want him to try to shoot through the glass or anything like that.
We blurred her face, but this surveillance picture shows the woman inside the Advanced Auto Parts store in Dalton Sunday at around 5 in the evening. She walked in first and alerted workers that she was being held against her will.
Yeah, she had some bruises on her neck and she had a dog bandages around her finger.
She was bruised, bloody, and bandaged, saying she met her kidnapper on a dating app. The workers tried to stall for as long as they could to call police.
My coworker was kind of stalling, but he told her to come on and get back in the car and let's go.
But minutes later, this man walked into the store on Sibley Boulevard. He's been identified as the suspect by Dalton police, and he told the woman it was time to leave. That's when the quick-thinking workers wrote down the license plate.
But they was pulling off. I told my coworker we're gonna write the license plate number. He wrote the license plate down, and he called the police from there.
Dalton police enlisted the FBI to track the woman down. Police put out this picture of the white Chevy Venture with Illinois plates. It was registered to a woman. They were able to track it to a home in nearby Riverdale Monday afternoon. They found their suspect and the woman. She said she was hit over the head and tied up in the basement.
Well, I'm just glad we help somebody else and save from being harmed or anything more than whatever happened to her already.
That man was driving his mother's van. The mother was home when this woman was being allegedly held captive in her basement. She had no idea. As for the suspect, he's now in police custody, and that woman is being checked out at the hospital. Those charges could be coming against that suspect as soon as tomorrow morning. From Dalton, Tia Ewing, Fox 32 Chicago.
The fuck is wrong with people? What is wrong with you? And it's so sad that the mother didn't know that was going on in her basement. I mean, you didn't hear nothing. You think that was sounds of pleasure? I'm just shocked. I mean, wow. Okay. Wow. I'm glad this woman was able to get out of this situation safely. Same with the Rodney Richardson situation. So y'all got to be careful. There are perverts everywhere, every age, every walks of life. Even on these fucking apps, it's crazy. And I'm starting to see more and more app stories. People getting robbed, people being kidnapped. You got to be very, very careful. And like I always do, you got another social media account. Let me see your Instagram. Let me see your Twitter. Let me see something else. It goes beyond somebody giving you pictures. Pictures can be ripped off the internet from somebody else. So you got to make sure you ain't being fucked over. He looked decent. I got questions. They couldn't lock the door. No back door. How long did the police take? Journey, I was asking the same thing. Like, nobody wanted to walk and lock the door. Nobody. That's why I said she walked out. She left, and she went with him when he came back in. I guess they were all afraid of the fact that she had a gun. Sad she couldn't lock herself in the bathroom. She may not have wanted to charge him because she was terrified of repercussion or didn't want this story going public. Probably that. Because I could not for the life of me understand. Okay. All right, girl. I ain't going to say too much. Maybe you didn't want people to know you be on a dating app. You want your name out here. Hey, it's a lesson for all of us to be fucking careful. All right, y'all. So, and thank y'all. Hold up, crew. Let me just say this. Thank y'all. We 29, we 30 we 30 folks here, 29 folks here. Thank y'all for rocking with me and checking it out. And replay crew, shout out to you. Now, what I've been telling y'all always happens, right? After my live, either one content creator or the other content creator goes live to kind of cut out on the replay views. I don't know why she's hating on me so big, but of course, after my live, she's scheduled to go live to talk about nothing. And then somebody else goes live. But I want to tell you all, thank you for continuously showing up for me, because if without you all, I wouldn't do this. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for being members, subscribers, and supporting this channel. This is why I do it, not because of no bullshit like this. And I just literally did it because somebody sent me a text message. Thank you. Shout out to you. I see it. Yeah, I see it. I don't care. Roman's still gonna be here. Okay. All right. Now let's get into this sad story. So we got a 3-year-old. This is a very, very sad story. We got a 3-fucking-year-old. Florida. D-Land, Florida. Okay. Now on Wednesday, his mother and father decided to go to a Publix. Now, you all are familiar with Publix. Publix is like a grocery store. It's one of those, it's like the Lion, what is it called? The Lion King? Not the Lion King, but like they got another grocery store called the Lion or something like that. But it's a grocery store. So the mother and father went to the grocery store. They left a 16-year-old in charge of the 7-year-old and the 3-year-old. Now, for some odd reason, the 3-year-old found himself all the way upstairs into his parents' bedroom, into their nightstand, and the 3-year-old pulls out their gun aims it at his own forehead, and pulls the trigger. Pulls the trigger. Pulls the trigger. And it's so crazy because the 16-year-old daughter calls her mom. Mom calls the police. They all arrive on scene. And the father's explanation as to why the gun was in the nightstand is the biggest thing about this story that bothers me. The father said he has 2 guns in his house. He typically keeps them in a safe. But because the lock to the safe broke, he decided to put 1 gun on the top of the refrigerator and put 1 loaded gun in his nightstand. That was his explanation. No, the fire, he said there was a safety on the gun, fire safety on the gun broken. So now we're here. No charges going to be pressed on the parents. They're not bringing any charges against the parents in this situation. They're calling it accidental in nature, and they're saying that it'll take them 7 days to provide a formal investigation to the family. But they said at this point, they're not bringing any charges against the family. I said, you got to be kidding me. So not only is there 1 open gun out there, did y'all go and get the gun off the refrigerator? I don't know how their kitchen is set up, but anybody can get on top of the refrigerator and grab. I don't know if they keep stuff on top of the refrigerator. I don't know what the case is, but yeah, somebody does need to be charged here. Yeah. I don't care if it's legal. It was still not kept properly. It was not stored properly. A nightstand loaded at that. Room door not locked, and nobody's charged. So now they got a 3-year-old baby gone, and everybody is saying that they don't really need any charges brought against them because they're suffering enough with the loss of a child. Get out of here with that shit. Get out of here with that shit. That we worried about the child that's gone. Let's talk about the ones that's there. Let's try to keep them too. There definitely needs to be. They saw that. The 16-year-old had to go and see that. It's traumatizing. What do you mean? The fuck? So now we got a 3-year-old. Check this out, crew. Y'all hit the like button. I'm sorry, this is a sad one.
Last night at 6:22 p.m., we received a frantic call that a 3-year-old had shot themselves from a residence in the 2400 block of Nectarine. At approximately 6:29, our first deputy arrived on scene, Deputy Logan Daniels, who began to administer CPR to the 3-year-old. And it was obvious at that point in time that the 3-year-old had it did expire. The 3-year-old was then transported by evac to Advent Health in DeLand, and our investigation was underway. There's some stuff that we can't tell you because the father of the 3-year-old is a state correctional officer. Therefore, there are things that I can't release about the family. I can tell you that the weapon that the 3-year-old got his hands on was stored in the nightstand next to the bed. It's a Canex 9mm firearm that was discharged once. The second firearm inside of the house was a Glock that was on top of the refrigerator. There is a safe in the bedroom. The safe is inoperable. So we're looking into how long that safe has been inoperable. DCF is clearly involved. There's parental supervision that has to be administered while they're with their other children. There were 3 children in the house. The sister who was watching them was 16. And there's another brother, 8, and the little guy was 3. The parents had left the house to go food shopping at Publix and left the 16-year-old in charge. And somehow, we don't know exactly how, but the little guy got into the bedroom, got into the drawer, and discharged the firearm once. This is a picture of the firearm that was used. There's questions about charge.
And it looked like a whole toy gun. It's gray. It looked like a whole toy gun. Unacceptable. I absolutely think a parent needs to be charged in this situation. You have to. Somebody has to be responsible for the life of this 3-year-old baby that's gone now. Even you could have got a lock on your own bedroom door. And so because he's a state correctional officer, you know, we keeping everything under wraps. Everything got to be quiet. Yeah, I think he needs to be charged. I absolutely think he needs to be charged. How selfless. Damn, I am late. Red balling at 2 times speed, trying to catch up. I am at McDonald stories now. Thank you, Sally O'Malley. You are my fave. Thank you. Shout out to Sally. I don't understand. I keep mine locked up and my kids are grown. A secure lockbox is not expensive. Negligence for sure. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to this very young man. Now, crew, I have to end on this story. This story right here is a very, very, very sad, very, very sad story. This is coming to us, I believe it's coming to us out of Florida. It just happened, literally just happened, I believe overnight over this past week. It's been going viral. What has happened in this clip that I'm about to show you is that a father and his son, 10-year-old son, were driving in a car. And the car was pulled over, not by one police officer, not by two, but several. Now, I don't know what the discussion was between the father and the child in the car, but the child got out the car scared and ran. And this is where we see this video footage. Now, this may be disturbing to some, but we got to see it because we got to expose these officers. When I do another local news, I will expect to hear that we got officers charged in a community. This was excessive. The child did nothing wrong. It completely excessive. So y'all check this out. And y'all make sure y'all give me a like too. If you haven't hit that like button, please make sure you give me a little like this morning. I appreciate the love. You know, we get out here and we talk about any and everything, all hot topics. All hot topics.
Lay down, put the phone down. Lay down, put the phone down. Stand up, okay? Stand up, you're good. Stand up. I got you. Hey, you're good, you're good. All right, stand up, I got you. You're gonna be okay. Stand up. I got you. I'm gonna detain you for right now, okay? Let me get every phone, but set it on the ground so we don't break it, all right? Breaking, all right?
I didn't run from you.
It's fine. These come off just as easy, all right? Are you okay?
Sorry, now we got
okay.
Detain car secure. Detain 1534.
Is there anything in pockets we need to know about?
No, nothing.
All right.
Here, you can check.
You're okay, all right?
Be a temp tag. Charles.
Who's in the car with you?
My dad.
It's your dad? Okay. Do you know why he took off running? You know why he took off running?
No.
Okay. All right, he's gonna be okay too. Don't worry about it. All right. You're okay. Everything's gonna be fine.
Stop pulling away from me. Stop moving. Stop. Wow. Stop. Where's the sergeant? Stop. Get off of me, dude. Stop.
I'm gonna pull your mask up, okay? You're okay? You're not hurt at all?
No.
An ambulance train?
I'm scared.
Everything's gonna be good. Don't worry about it. All right.
For units out on James L, we're going to take the patch off and interrupt 1 in Metro East. The detail will be on
Can I call my mom?
Yep, we'll let you make some phone calls in just a little bit, okay? He's okay. He's okay. He's all right. Here, do me a favor. Let's go over to this side of the car, okay? You're good. You're good. You're good. It's all right. Where's your mom at?
She's at home.
Okay. All right.
Why y'all got my son in handcuffs, bro?
Here, let's go over to my car and we'll get you out of those handcuffs, all right?
Take him out of handcuffs.
Okay. I was actually just taking him over to the car to do it. All right, you're good. Do you want to call your mom?
Yeah.
All right, we can call your mom.
Now, I ask you, was it ever a moment where it was appropriate for this police officer to detain this 10-year-old boy, to actually put him in handcuffs? He sat down. He stopped running. He sat down. He dropped his phone. You took his phone from him. He stood up. So what was the need to detain this 10-year-old boy, causing him to now have to officially say, I've been arrested before in my life? Yeah, I've been arrested. Now, we don't know what the situation is with the father, but now all I could think about is the 10-year-old. And the what you didn't see was the police officers drawing guns on this 10-year-old as he took off. That could have been extremely fatal when we find ourselves in a situation like this. That to me makes no sense at all. No sense at all. No idea. He is absolutely going to be traumatized. He might be traumatized for a long time. No, he should have never did that. He was extremely scared. The little child was scared. He didn't know what to do. And I always ask myself, if situations were different and things were different, would the same recourse would have happened? Would they still pull out a weapon, a gun on a 10-year-old boy running from a car? The worst thing they could have done was sit that child right there and tell him, you cannot move. Stay right there, seated. And then he says, okay, he realizes I got this 10-year-old arrested. Maybe I need to take the handcuffs off of him. So then he walks over and other police officers like, yeah, take you might want to uncuff him. Oh, wow. Because now you know what's wrong. And he tries, I was going to walk him over here to uncuff him. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. He shouldn't have been cuffed up in the first place. So now we're here. We're here with this bullshit. 10 years old. Now, I don't know what the father was in, what he got in, why he got pulled over, why he was arrested. But you also have to be careful as a parent. If you hot, make sure you're driving with somebody else. So if something happens, the child has somebody else to go with. Don't be hot. I know, don't be hot. I know people ride around here, driver's license suspended, no registrations on their car. I know all of that goes on, but make sure you got somebody else riding with you. If you got a child in the car with you too, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm being honest. Now you got a child with an experience that they say by the age of 21, most black men have seen jail, been arrested. Well, he's already met that at the age of 10. Not because he did anything wrong, but ran. There was no reasonable expectation that a 10-year-old knew that he should not run. No. Prove that. So we're here, and it sucks. I think that's shameful. No reason whatsoever. Oh my God, these kids aren't safe. That was a sad moment. It was completely a sad moment. And so, crew, I have a question that I posed to you at the beginning of this live. And my question to you was, what is your first line of defense in a non-physical confrontation? What do you do when you're confronted with something? It's a verbal confrontation. Somebody confronts you. What is your first, most immediate response? Do you jump off the haywire? Are you quick to respond like, hold up, wait? Are you more so the retreat and wait like, okay, all right, let me dial back. All right, okay, all right. I'll come back to this. Or are you more of an ignorer and avoidance? Do you sort of like, I'm not interested? I'm curious to know. If you can, drop in the chat. Let me know what your technique is. And maybe it's not up here. Maybe you got another technique. I think we can all learn from each other. SNL. Oh. Good morning, SNL. Did you do the story about the off-duty lady cop who was getting robbed and she killed the guy and now his family is suing her? I wonder if we did a story about that. It sounds so familiar. I'm going to double check. Off-duty cop. Retreat and wait. I react too quickly, which I'm learning to balance that. Okay. Retreat and wait. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else care to let me know what they do? I'm curious, y'all. I truly am. Me personally, I think this might tie into because I'm a Libra, but I'm always going to be, my first immediate reaction is to be very silent. I'm going to be like, I always tell y'all, like, are you talking to me? So I'll be very quiet because I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to figure out like what is really going on here. So that's why I put that there. Like, Are you going to be silent for understanding, respond immediately, retreat and wait, ignore and avoidance, and a mix between silence and understanding? Yeah, I choose. That doesn't mean I'm weak. That doesn't mean, it just means like, okay, I'm just figuring out my best approach, because when I want to respond, I want to make it so succinct. I want to make sure I have everything together, and I want to make sure I drive my point home. So I wanted to know, if you're in a replay group and you come across this question, please put in the comments. I'm curious to know, how do we all act? You know, how do we all respond? And I know it's case by case. Every situation warrants a different response. But what is your more natural inclination? Are you more inclined to jump off the handles? Are you more inclined to, okay, I see you? Are you silent? What are you? I'm curious to know. And shout out to the crew. Thank y'all for being here. I didn't even check to see how many likes we got. Did y'all give me some likes this morning? Okay, yes. Thank you. Thank you for 40 likes. I appreciate the love. I really, really do. Remember, our quote of the day this morning was, you need to look after yourself. 2, if you need to rest, rest. If you need time alone, recharge yourself. And remember, Black fathers do matter. Okay? Yes, they do. And shout out to New Era Detroit. We talked about them at the top of the show. Oh no, maybe we didn't. So the New Era Detroit, this is the organization that's been helping women, you know, get to their cars, all of that good stuff. They recently did they helped in their local community, because what was going on was, there's this hospital, right? New Era Detroit, shout out to them too, because a lot of people are trying to catch on and copy what they're doing. They're sort of like a Black militant group. They got guns. They help women to their cars and gas stations and all that good stuff. And so there's this hospital in Detroit, and they have a parking that's 5 minutes only. If you go over 6 minutes, there's this tow truck company with a contract with the state that has been sitting there and eyeing, and they always get Black folks, specifically, you know, older Black folks, because they're outside of this clinic. And so this group came together to put a stop to that. They showed up before the police showed up, like, no, y'all ain't doing this no more. I said, shout out to them for doing this. They definitely, I wanted to join. I was like, can I be a part? I want to be a part. Y'all are definitely doing the work. So y'all check them out, crew. And y'all make sure y'all give me a like. We still got 3 minutes. Give me my time.
They've been fucking over people, especially women and children. They done had women and kids crying on the sidewalk because they spot illegally. They ain't supposed to be doing this shit, bro. You ain't supposed to have no fucking spotter.
If I do know correctly, this place does have a contract.
They do have a contract.
But in their requirements, I believe they have to call us first.
They have to. That's tow law. I know tow law. They have to call y'all.
I think she's going to end up being primary, so we're just going to see what's going to go on.
There it is.
I was over here making a report from children, so I've just been...
No, we good. We cool. We cool. It ain't shit. But we not about to let this keep happening. People rushing to the hospital because they got problems. We got a girl that was out here crying on camera. That's how you're supposed to pull up.
That's right.
When I heard it, I said, gosh, that's not what I said.
Praying on people with no money.
Like you said, 10 minutes. I walked across to go into the hospital, and I was coming right back. Just walking right out. As soon as I walked back, so they was probably coming to her because they watched you walk to the hospital.
Yep.
Do investigations too, bro. We got y'all on tape for 4 weeks. Doing the same thing over and over. We got tape every morning.
Witnesses.
No more.
Everything.
Get the people, get their car back. Yep.
He said he didn't help people, then took people home, all type of stuff.
Young women. And that old lady was out here on a walker, bro, crying. And they told her you need $500 and something to get your car back. What the hell she gonna get $500 and something for?
Hey, your boss a dummy too. And y'all got a contract up at City Council on Tuesday. Surprise, dummy. Dumbass. Hey, you fucked up some money today. Stupid ass.
Buddy. It's you.
Waiting on them. Everybody know. I want everybody. It's over. It's done. That's done. But we'll be here. We're not going to interfere with what y'all got going on, but we're not going nowhere, just so we clear.
Yeah, we out the way, man.
Fuck you, man. We got to stand up out here, bro. You feel me? There ain't no way in hell we about to keep allowing shit like this to happen in our community, bro. They talking about New Detroit. You goddamn right it's a New Detroit. We been cool lately. Don't poke the fucking bear. Don't poke the fucking bear.
Don't poke the fucking bear. I love it. Shout out to New Era Detroit. Can we get a New Era Baltimore? Please. Please. Okay. Shout out to them for doing the work. I love that. I've been watching that organization. I've been watching the clips that they've been posting. They've been very active in Detroit. Very active. I saw some of the women pulling up to the gas station and the men would come and did I play that clip for y'all? Didn't I play that clip for y'all? I said, man, pull up to the gas station. Okay.
How you doing?
Yeah, like, they pump gas, no groceries.
Who pump your gas? Huh? Okay, New Era. Okay. You know who pump your gas? Okay. You trust your gas tonight? You hear me? Oh, you know that.
All right. Thank you. Hey, okay, that's what's up. Thank y'all.
How you doing?
All right.
Y'all all right?
Shout out to them for doing the work. I like stuff like that. I like seeing it. I think it's a powerful movement. Anytime that we can go protect our own communities, I mean, it means so much more. People dropping garbage in your community, all of that kind of stuff means so much more when you can do it for your own. So shout out to them for that. Sounds good to be silent and assess the situation, then react. Sometimes quick to react. I am silence for understanding the most part. Silence for understanding, a bit behind in the chat. Oh, Brick Girl, I appreciate it. I love that. Definitely would like to see more of it as well. Absolutely. And thank y'all, crew. We had a show this morning. Dang, we had a whole 2 hours of this not but local news, y'all. Shout out to y'all. We cover all these stories. So now all these faces familiar. Y'all know what every last one of these folks done did. And shout out to the National Urban League. Again, we did our part. Help Urban Reentry Jobs Program. Shout out to Black History Month. Shout out to everybody celebrating Black History Month. Keep Black history alive as much as these people are trying to take it out of these schools and stuff like that. I don't know why my signal is acting weird. I see it. I can see it. I don't know why. Thank y'all, crew. I'll be back live tomorrow. We do all hot topics tomorrow. So it'll be 2 hours of hot topics. Hope y'all come back again tomorrow. Shout out to the replay crew. Trust me, somebody else gonna be live after me tomorrow and the day after that. You so corny. I ain't going nowhere. If this is your plan, if this is your tactic, girl, you need a life. Anyways, all right, crew. I'm about to be out. Deuces to y'all. Shout and replay crew. Make sure y'all. I got a video on my live, last live. Make sure y'all go check out Friday's last live. Go check that video out. As well as my uploads. So I'm gonna be chopping this video up, doing some uploads. Make sure y'all turn y'all notifications on so when the uploads do drop, you'll be some part of the first crew who see the uploads and they go straight to your phone. Remember, I'm sharing these uploads to other platforms so I can engage with the crowd who's having these conversations about these topics. So I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you, T. Trisha One. Thank you. Shout out to all the members. Great show as always. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Hey, it's still me, Kanika. Thank you for being here. Have a great day. I appreciate when y'all drop down. I'll be like, okay, you sit there chilling in the bushes. And until next crime. Well, until next crime. You too, Zap. Have a good day. Shay, have a good day. Great live. And hugs to all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. And until next time, crew. Until next time. Deuces. Good morning. Thank you for being here this morning.
Let's go. Oh, let's start this show. King Roman news gonna come right through, gonna give you that news just like you know he can do. Hot topics in your face, baby. King Roman knows his place, baby. King Roman.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
6:30 a.m. Eastern time, baby. He's gonna come right on time with the news just for you. Celebrity news, politics, and local news just for you. King Roman News. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Let's go, let's go. Hey, let's start this show. King Roman News, coming just for you. King Roman News, coming just for you. 6:30 a.m.